So Peter's just testing some rover stuff on a tiny little rover. I can't actually see.
Oh, there it is. I see it running away. Yeah, there it is. And you are at the CMAC. So hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We've just jumped straight into this. The safety briefing has just finished at the CMAC field. I wasn't fast enough to get that. And there's a rover now on its way out. And well, tell us, James, a little bit about CMAC. What's that all about? Where are you? What are you doing?
Okay, so right now we've basically just finished the first session of the ArduPilot Developers Conference in Canberra. We've broken for lunch and come out to the Canberra Model Aero Club, which for ArduPilot users might be familiar if you've used Cittal or seen the auto test builds, in that it's a flying field that we use for all of that stuff that happens to have a pink runway. It's quite distinctive. And this is it in the flesh, a pink runway at the Canberra Model Aero Club. The clubhouse is just out behind us here, and you'll see over there the largest congregation of ArduPilot developers I think we've ever had.
That's fantastic, and obviously looks like the weather's
here
good.
Here we go. We have Leonard Hall.
G'day, Leonard. How you doing?
Leonard does the control loops for Copter, amongst other cool stuff. And he's wearing Yanni's new bling. He's the swag stuff, the swag hat, the swag shirt. Just to put the plugs in there, jump on, shop.ardupilot.org and buy some of that from Yanni.
Absolutely.
So we have Leonard Hall. We have Peter Barker, who I think has been our most prolific committer this year. And Francisco, who gets to see all of those commits as the bug master for the ArduPilot project.
And what are you testing with this rover? What's happening with the rover?
I don't know. I'll just have a chat to Peter, actually. So, Peter, what are we demonstrating with your rover out there?
Well, I was hoping to actually get Leonard to tune it for me, since he can tune anything. So this thing's a bit wild, and currently is in full manual, so it's basically direct pass. It pulls a little to the left, just naturally. But I'm hoping to get him to tune up steering mode if I can have a play. Yeah.
I don't know anything about rovers. Do they tune like you would an aircraft?
I'm not the best person to ask, but basically the tuning on rover is similar to the ground steering tuning for plane. If you have a steerable tail wheel, so you have to tune your turning radius in addition to your normal PID loop stuff, just to give it some mechanical characteristics of what the rover is capable of doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and is that a very fancy taxi area you're walking down there as well? And is that a very wow?
Yeah, I've just walked down the taxiway from the strip and the pilot's box back down towards the CMAC clubhouse, which is just a small shed here. And I'll just do a quick walk around of all the other people that are here. I'm going to catch Phil Rouse.
Oh, look who's sneaking around the back of the bike shed.
You're live.
G'day, Philip.
Oh, you've Gary Mortimer on the other end of this, and the world.
Hello.
Okay, so Philip Rouse, who is famous for the Pixhawk 2, the Cube, amongst a bunch of other stuff, but he'll be doing some presentations tomorrow morning, I think, about hardware.
Apparently so, yeah. Got to write it yet.
But he'll be telling us about the Here 2 GPS and the Pixhawk Red.
There you go. I don't need to do it now.
Well, you'll be calling it the Cube Red. Yeah.
So what have we got lined up for
Jaime Machuca here.
G'day.
Bunch of things. We're doing planes for surveying, and also working on some of the stuff that goes in the planes, like the companion computer and all the map proxy module to trigger the camera and to do all the surveying. So a couple of things.
Okay, and Grant Morfitt, who is the maintainer for Rover.
He's the man that knows.
Leonard's controller talk was very interesting. We've got some work on that to work on the head tuning and the feed forward tuning. So we're looking forward to getting that done in the very near term in Rover. And we've got Jack and Dale from Canberra UAV, who are prolific builders and supporters of the ArduPilot project for quite some time. And providing dinner for the ArduPilot dev team tonight. And I'm going to really embarrass Tom because he's carrying stuff. Tom, you're live.
Yes. How's it, Tom?
So Tom is also wearing more of Yanni's bling. There we go. Shameless plugs. And very cool, the Ardu Rover 1. I don't know whether someone will do a plug for that later, but one of our partners has got that little rover that's very cool. Uses solar batteries. Cool. Have you got any questions for us, Gary? I can take you to particular people. I've got literally all the core devs here.
Well, I know that yesterday we flight tomorrow today. We had a Skywalker X8 that I was flying. It's pretty windy, so it's a little easier. 40 degrees.
I was just after what we can't quite hear Tom, I'm afraid. I was after what you're sort of expecting to fly. Have you guys got the swarm going yet? Did that happen yet?
We're all kind of just showing up. So
yeah, so
Swarms
we ran overtime this morning, so people are still turning up out of the field. There's been a bunch of commits by Peter and Randy to get the code ready for swarming over the last 2 days. I'm not quite sure whether we're there yet, but the intent is to do that later on tonight, basically with as many copters, Sky Vipers, solos as we can, and hook onto a Wi-Fi network, because that'll all be over Wi-Fi with Randy's new onboard follow me mode, so it doesn't require the GCS to do the follow me. It'll all work it out between the aircraft themselves, just straight out of the firmwear.
Okay, that's interesting.
Which is really quite cool.
The swarm-wise, we're looking at 5 or 7.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a little smaller, but it's set up so we can actually have the swarm following fixed wings. It'd be hard to look up those catch-ups.
What I'll do now is I'm just going to grab Michael Oborn and Randy, and we can maybe ask them some questions. I can't see whether there are any user questions coming in.
Not yet.
If there are,
I will. I'll let you know.
Cool. Right. Michael, we've got Gary on the other end of this.
G'day, Michael. How you doing? Well done on all your work. I think everyone knows there's
So we've got Michael Oborn here. Gary, you might want to do the intro on that, but Michael's behind Mission Planner.
Yes, certainly. We all owe you a debt of gratitude. Thank you very much, Michael, for all the great work you've done with that. What can we see? What can we expect? What changes can we expect, if any, in the next year or so?
What's coming with Mission Planner over the next year?
What's coming with Mission Planner next year? Probably a UI redesign at this point in time, and maybe targeting a few different OSs, maybe mobile platforms as well. Let's just say work has started there. That's all I'm going to say at this point, however. And yeah, that's probably the biggest one. More multi-platform, and I suppose always more drones as well. So more all at once.
It must be getting quite hard to support everything. It supports so many autopilots and so many OSs already. How on earth do you keep a track of it all?
So it's so hard to support so many different autopilots.
I will agree with that.
Yeah. So many different types, platforms, missions. How do you keep track of it?
That's definitely like what I know with the current release version, there's no sub support, whereas the beta version currently has a sub icon and will upload sub firmware. Like that's only gone in within the last month or so. And I'm sure as time goes by, with all Tridge doing new airframe types, quad planes, all the rest, it'll just keep on getting bigger and bigger. Yes, support is always interesting in those times, but yeah, it's always a challenge.
Now, I know that Michael won't do this, but I'll just put a plug in for the donate button in Mission Planner. Yes. More people need to hit that button because Michael does not get paid for Mission Planner. And
indeed,
it is...
I have a day job, which isn't this.
So yeah, please press that button on Mission Planner. It really does go a long way to supporting ArduPilot and particularly Mission Planner with Michael. And we have Mr. ArduCopter, Randy McKay.
Good day, Randy. How are you?
Gary says hi.
Hey, Gary.
No, he's come a long way. He's come from Japan, hasn't he?
He has.
Yep. 10 hours or something like that on the plane a couple days ago. Yeah, down here in sunny Canberra. And weather's a lot better than in Japan right now. -5 in Japan. It's about 25 or 30 here.
And
cool.
What's happening with the copter code? Or are there any big changes happening there, or new exciting things that we're going to see rolling out?
So copter, yeah, actually, I've also been looking a lot at rover recently. So we recently pushed out 321 for rover. So yeah, in terms of things coming up, it's a lot going on both on the rover side and on the copter side. Like on the rover side, for example, we're going to be adding support for balance spots. And Segway-like vehicle. Also trying to improve the support for boats. There's some quite interesting problems in boats. For example, how do you hold position? Right now, rovers, you take the rover former, you put it on a boat. It kind of holds position, but it's not solid. It'll kind of circle the waypoint, come back, circle. It doesn't hold position very, very firmly. So we're going to try to add that. Maybe add support for thrusters on rovers as well. Bow thruster or sideways thruster. That's the thing that a lot of people are asking for. So that's quite exciting. A lot of other smaller things as well. Pivot turn improvements, we can do that. So pivot turns are much smoother and more accurate.
Is there a sense of is there a sense of the number of users of each sort of subset? Sort of percentage multi-rotor, fixed wing, rover, boat. Is there a feeling of that, or can that even be judged or gauged?
I couldn't quite hear all of that.
Do we know how many users for each of the different vehicle types?
Yeah, so my information is a little dated. I know that copters used to be something like 10 times as many copter users as plane users, and then the drop from plane users to rover users was about another 10 times. So roughly, one in 100 copies, 100 times fewer rover users. But I'm hoping that that's going to improve as we add more features and better navigation and improve the code in a more general sense. So I'm expecting the number of users to increase a lot.
And also, we're getting some dedicated hardware for it as well, or a lot more of it coming out.
Yes, a lot of the manufacturers are very generous with the hardware. So, for example, I have this beautiful rover from Ion Robotics. This is, I think it's beautiful.
Oh, anyway. There we go.
And I think, for me, this is my state-of-the-art vehicle. So it's got the smart battery, which is reused solo battery. It's got LiDAR, lightweight LiDAR on the front. Something ridiculous like this one's actually 15 meters, which is far more than we need. It's got TX1 in there as well, which is acting as a companion computer to AP sync on it, so you've got the live video. Of course, this one also does object avoidance. That's about it. Live videos.
And where's that platform going to take us in the end? Where would the end what would the end user perhaps be thinking about doing with that? I understand boats, planes, and copters. I'm not quite sure I understand rovers.
Yeah, sure. So I think there's development users. There's a lot of robotics researchers out there, and this is a very hackable platform. There's obviously hobbyists as well who might be interested in this platform being 100% open source. The other thing though is I think similar to copters, rovers have a bright future in photography. So, for example, movies. If you want to make a movie and you want to have a very predictable shot, you can repeat over and over again. You don't get it all in one take. You want to repeat that over and over again. And I think that this kind of rover is good for that. You put a three-axis gimbal on the top with a heavy camera on it, and then you just repeat the shot over and over again. So I think that's another great use of rovers.
Yeah.
There are obviously some agricultural type uses as well for spraying fertilizer or weed killer and that kind of thing. And
it's been really interesting actually since I got involved in the rover world. I'm seeing all these new applications that I hadn't seen before, and one of them was basically a very large tractor that has two enormous wheels on it, and then a downward-facing camera, and it was for precision agriculture. So it would go along. It had a companion computer there looking downwards, looking at the plants, and then spraying water or fertilizer as necessary. So that's another great application.
I've never played with it. Well, I've never played with RC vehicles. My brother did. My brother had the cars, not me. So, it's not something that's ever piqued my interest. But maybe I'll have a look at that. And yet another thing to try and play with. Well, too many things to play with. James, I wonder if you could just get in the face of your victims a little bit more, because the audio is quite soft. So you might just have to get in people's faces a bit more.
We'll just shift from Randy over to Pierre. Pierre Canty is one of the, I guess, newer members of the dev team. He's been around for about a year. Pierre came from the Google Summer of Code.
Okay.
And from the company Skytech. And I'm here to to have fun and help to develop mostly rovers. Even if in company I work only on multicopter, autonomous multicopter.
And Pierre's come to us all the way from France, so travelled further than most. And I think he's enjoying the change in the weather too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very nice to be able to meet all the team, because in Europe I don't think we have so much of the team, and so it's nice to meet everyone.
And have they been looking after you?
Have we been looking after you? Sorry? Have we been looking after you, making you feel welcome?
Yeah. So very, very nice people, and it's very enjoyable to be here.
That's the right answer.
Going to CMAC from ArduPilot user is something very special.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, James.
I'm going to just wander through the crowd.
Okay.
So there's about 25 of the core devs here. Sid, who's been doing the Chibios work, and probably is still doing it right now because he can't stop. So Sid, say good day to Gary and SUAS News and all these viewers out there in the world.
Hello, Chibios. I don't care about that. Why must I care about it?
Changing the operating system that ArduPilot sits on and doing the port to Chibios with Tridge. Sid's, I guess, been in the background for a number of years, doing a lot of work with ArduPilot. Chibios is probably the first time that people have had visibility of the work that Sid does.
James, why must we care about it? Why do I care about that?
Oh, what we'll do is when we put up all the videos from the presentations from this morning and from tomorrow, you'll see some amazing data, basically with regards to scheduling and just the scheduling accuracy on Chibios. I might get Sid to explain this actually, because he's the RTOS guy and can really articulate this much better than I can.
Right. So what we have seen when we moved from RTX, older platform that we were using, is like improvement across the board, say performance or scheduling. By that I mean we are now able to hit time more precisely than we were before. We are able to take less and less space as we were before. So it's like an overall improvement from the ground up, where we'll see in the future developments because of the Chibios port, and that is quite interesting. And we'll see how users take the power and modify their purposes. Yeah.
Would I be right? Sorry, James. Would I be right in saying that this almost will breathe new life into older hardware?
Yeah. So, what does Chibios mean for breathing new life into old hardware, or letting ArduPilot run on hardware it can't already run on?
So we have made this hardware definition, configuration possible, that will enable even the users that don't code and are mostly hardware oriented, hardware designers, to easily port ArduPilot to different boards, which means that we can have ArduPilot running in more and more boards, and even the boards that it didn't run before. So that would be something we'll be seeing more and more in the future due to this.
Do you want to give some examples?
Sure. So we have ported to Revo Mini, Crazy Fly, and I think there is P4 Pro. I think that's the one that will be coming soon. And the VR brain boards, they will be supported pretty soon as well from this development. And we can see some LPC-based board from paparazzi community that have been developed. So we can see, those boards as well in the near future. So, yeah.
And how, as an end user, will I get to this? And has Chibios rolled out? Has it rolled out yet into to everyone in general using the current firmware, or is it still something that's to come?
When will users get to experience the Chibios port.
Right. So it is currently on master, and for I think Revo Mini is out there. You can fly, today if you want, from just get the master and build it and fly it on FMU, like for Pixar Cube and PixRacer. The support is there as well, so you can just download and clone the GitHub repository from the master and build it using the options. So for instance, if you want to build for Pixar Cube, you can use dashboard, FMU V3. For PixRacer, we have FMU V4. For Revo Mini, we have Revo Dash Mini option. So you can see those options available when you try to build it, of course. So they are already on master and ready to be used by our test users, basically. But there's still some work to be done in terms of like having a full confidence that it is not going to break. But we are seeing some good results in terms of stability, and I hope it just proceeds like that. But yeah.
Just to articulate a little bit on that, basically for those boards that we don't have a NUTX port for, then I'd say people should be starting to use Chibios now. So the Revo Mini, the Mini Pix, there's a couple of others that already have build files on WAF that you can build for. Just start using it. The more people start using it, the sooner we'll be able to demonstrate that it is robust and get that kind of confidence in it. For the Cube, for Pixhawk and the normal Pixhawk boards, wait for a stable release, but the next full version stable release is intended to be on Chibios. So there won't be a new stable.
Now, I think I'm right in saying that the really exciting jump. So this is created a lot of space, as it were, and we're going to be seeing Luau scripts. There's space to put scripts in. I'll put that very badly. Perhaps you could help me unpack that properly.
Yeah, Lua scripting. So again, we had a presentation this morning from Michael DeBrail from Swift Radio Planes, who's the GPS maintainer and has taken on the task of implementing Lua scripting. So we'll upload that presentation when we kind of finish the conference and find the time. But Michael's already running a script on his own branch at the moment, so he's got Lua implemented at a basic level. But there's a bit of work to go before that is available to the general users. Tridge is waving at us. We're interrupting his lunch.
With his pizza. Yeah, I see that. And he's the man. How you doing, Tridge?
Oh, very good, Gary. So we had great fun this morning.
Good.
Lots of good technical talks. So we're going to do some flying, and we're having a barbecue this evening and night flying. So wish you were here. And hello to all your viewers out there.
This is, a long time ago, people might remember that Tridge used to put in his headers that he will code for pizzas. So just...
very good. Very good. I do remember that. Very good. And there are the very actual pizzas. So what is the preferred choice of pizza at the Unconference?
To be honest, we didn't ask people what they wanted. It's a random mix.
Random pizzas.
So you mean it's not a democracy there?
Yeah. Well, we actually did ask some. There are a couple of vegetarians here, so there are vegetarian pizzas in there. But apart from that, I don't really know what we've got.
Now, did that really small wing make it through the night?
The really small wing. Where is Paul? I will find Paul. I'll find Paul Riseborough, and we'll.
Hey, Paul, we're live on air with Gary. He wants to see the really small wing. In your pocket?
Well, you.
Oh, go inside and have a look at it.
All right.
We'll show you the minutes charging station. Come here, Gary.
All right.
All right.
The lighting's
well, I reckon you could.
So it might bloom.
Okay. You could probably knock up another one out of those pizza boxes.
Here we have a microplane.
So
I'm not sure if you can see it.
And we have Yanni and Seppo Sario from RF Design.
G'day.
That is the tiny plane. It weighs 98 grams, I believe.
Wow.
That batteries.
Oh, and flew beautifully yesterday with ArduPilot.
I saw that. I was amazed. Was that?
Really quite fast, more than 20 meters a second.
Gosh. Was that the first time it flew yesterday?
Flies for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was the first time. I very much doubt it because I think Paul has crashed it hundreds of times to tune it.
Oh, it was amazing.
Maybe later on.
I was staggered. It was so windy. It was so windy.
Yeah, crazy windy, and it flew really well.
Yeah.
It is unstable without a flight controller, though.
Yeah, you can't move a helicopter. I can't move the sticks fast enough to fly it without the autopilot on. So.
And
just a quick intro to that's Paul Riseborough, who's responsible for the estimator code in ArduPilot, and don't tell anyone, but he does PX4 too.
Which autopilot's actually on board that thing?
It's a D-pinned V4, so it's a PX racer with the pins pulled out.
Okay. And that's good.
Aircraft tragic from teenage years, and I used to do a lot of indoor models, very small.
Can you hear that, Gary?
I can.
Okay, good. Yeah. So now we've got the hardware small enough now that I can actually indulge my passion for small indoor models, but actually put an ArduPilot on it.
It immediately made me think of peanut scale stuff. Maybe he knows peanut scale because I used to make those as well.
Yeah, Paul's nodding.
Yeah, that'd be just would be amazing, wouldn't it? Just the indoor navigation. Very exciting.
Now, Gary, is it okay if we take a break for a while, or I
hand this on
to someone else because I'm missing my lunch?
On your pizza, yeah, you can if you like.
And also, just if there are some specific questions, because basically, if I can't find someone in this crowd of people who knows the answer to an ArduPilot question, then no one knows the answer to that ArduPilot question. So it is a good opportunity to get some of those questions asked and answered.
Yeah, no one would there. We did have one, and that was how fast does that rover go? That was the question we had earlier.
We'd have to look at the logs. I don't think Peter knows. Oh, you mean the Aon Robotics?
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we could ask Nick. No, he's not here. The dev for that. So I don't know off the top of my head, but we could definitely find out and put an answer up later on.
All right, then here's another one for you. Will the tracker code be updated soon?
We actually spoke about that this morning. The answer is yes, but there will probably be some changes. It won't be a point release. There is some thought going on to how we best support tracker as a code base and as a function. And the work that Randy's doing right now with the vehicle-to-vehicle follow-me code actually lends itself quite well to being a complete restructure of tracker. So there's a bit of thought going on as to how we want to do that. But it's tracker has not been forgotten.
Okay. All right. Well, I tell you what. Everyone's eating and no one's flying. So shall we knock this on the head and maybe come back a little bit later?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think it was a good opportunity to do that walk around, but definitely about half an hour or maybe later this evening when we do the night flying. What would you prefer?
Okay, well, shall we try and reconvene again at about, I'm going to get the times all wrong. What time are you doing the night flying?
Well, sunset here at the moment won't be till about 5 hours from now.
About 5 hours from now, about 10:30. So let's 5 hours from now. Let's call it 11 o'clock local for me, which will be 0900 GMT. Yeah, about 9 o'clock GMT. Yeah, all right. Let's try that. Obviously, don't crash everything in the meantime, and we look forward to convening again. I'll put another hangout up, and I'll send you the links. And you have your lunch, and we'll look forward to seeing you then.
Excellent. No worries. Look forward to it, Gary.
All right, mate. See you then. So we're looking about 09 GMT, I think, dear viewer, but that could be wrong. So just look out for this going live. Well, the best thing to do, of course, is subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification, and then you shall know. Anyway, thanks very much. Enjoy your pizza. Have safe flying there. Cheers, man.
All right. Thanks, Gary.
Bye.